welcome back to my channel. So it is Saturday night, January 1st at like 7:30 at night, and I'm starting this reading vlog here. Technically, this is my Winterween vlog, but I thought, what better time to do Read It Like Gabby from Gabby Reads video. So I'm gonna start this readathon like a day early, a little over a day, okay? And I have 5 potential books to read. So I read it like Gabby, plus they're all Winterween themed. So they're all like spooky vibes or thrillers. I think they're all horror except for one is a sci-fi horror and one a sci-fi thriller. Excuse me, not a horror. So I don't think that's too bad. If you don't know what Winterween is, it's basically like this readathon that is based around Halloween. Usually Gabby from Gabby Reads and Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte put this readathon on 3 times a year. So there's Winterween, there's Summerween, and then there's like Halloween. Where they do another one. I think this was the first year that they did it around or on Halloween though. But I'm gonna quickly go through the books that I'm hoping to read for this vlog. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna start one of them tonight. I don't think I'm gonna read a lot of it though, because I'm getting tired and I'm probably gonna go to sleep soon. Even though it's only 7:30 at night. Okay. So the first book that I'm going to be reading for this is A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Marlerman. This also fits for Winterween because it's a novella, and that is one of the prompts. And it's also one that Gabby has recommended on her channel. I'm going to try to read The Nesting by C.J. Cook. This was on Gabby's video. If you like this, then you should try this book. And she recommended The Nesting based on The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. And that is the only Ruth Ware book that I have liked as of yet. I think there are 2 in her backlist that I haven't even tried yet. But I'm excited. So I think it's like a creepy forest and a nanny and creepy things happen. Then there's The One by John Mars, which is another one that Gabby has raved about. I'm a little nervous about this one because I'm not a sci-fi reader, and this is a sci-fi thriller in which you can be matched to your one true love by getting some kind of DNA test done, and you follow 5 different perspectives, and I believe one of them is a serial killer, and that's all that I know about this. I have The Winter People by Jennifer Mcmahon, which Jennifer Mcmahon is one of Gabby's favorites. The Winter People and The Drowning Kind, I think, are her 2 favorites. So I have The Winter People, plus this counts for snow on the cover and a winter setting. So knocking all those Winterween prompts out with this book. And then the last one that I'm hoping to get through is The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward. This is a book that I'm expecting to give me thrills and chills. This takes place in a forest in Washington State, which is where I'm from. And there's like a haunted house or a haunted forest or something. I really don't know a lot about this one, but I'm really excited to try it out. Just got the audiobook for The Nesting. So I'm going to start this audiobook tonight while I put last month's reads on Goodreads, because I want them to count for this reading year, not last year. So they're not in there yet. And I won't see you until tomorrow. Good morning! I read it like Gabby vlog. So I just set up my first ever live on my channel. So by the time you see this, I would have already done it. But look at this thumbnail that I made. Right there, live reading sprints. So I'm excited, but kind of nervous. Like, I've never done anything live on this channel before. So it's just going to be a fun, low-key reading sprint tonight. I have made it like 40% of the way into this book. It's like 130 pages. And this is so creepy and atmospheric. And this is like very slow burn scary, but I'm questioning every decision I've ever made. And I love when books can do that. Yeah, so I'm really excited to keep reading this. And then tomorrow I start my teaching job, and I was fine, but now I'm like really nervous. Just woke up today and I'm just very nervous about tomorrow. But it'll be fine. I'll be good. I got this. I got this. So I start kindergarten tomorrow. In this book, you follow Sophie, who is this babysitter, and it's very slow, but you kind of learn that this kid's mom has committed suicide, and you as the reader know that this babysitter has had problems with mental health and suicidal thoughts and things like that. Yeah. And I like the representation, but I'm not entirely sure that it was suicide, and I think that you're supposed to question everything, and I'm questioning everything. Although I would like to say, if you read The Nesting by C.J. Cook, don't read the back, because I feel like they gave you a huge spoiler. Like, I am at the 130 page mark. I think about the 100 pages in, it gives you the spoiler that's like right here. So don't read it. I was very confused because it was talking about something right here that happens in the book, and that doesn't happen until about 100 pages in. So I'm just like, what? No, the synopsis is wrong. And then when it happened, I was kind of like, I didn't like it because I already knew, and I was very confused, and it made me even more confused. So don't read the back of The Nesting. I hate when books, but specifically thrillers, give away a huge plot point on the back of the book in the synopsis. Like, I hate that, and this book definitely did that. but I'm enjoying this. I'm trying to get some channel and classroom stuff done, so I might just listen to this audiobook a little bit more. And then we have live reading sprints tonight, and I'm just super excited. So for the entire year, I am going to be doing live reading sprints on the first Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. Arizona time. Hey friends, so it's later today on Sunday. So I found out this morning that I'm starting with my own class starting tomorrow, which makes sense because it's been winter break and everything like that. So it does make sense to start fresh and everything, but I thought I was going to be working with the other kinder teacher for the first week or two, and that's not happening. So I dragged my husband to my classroom and we got everything all set up. I will insert some photos right here. But now I have some teacher things to do. So I have to make a supply bucket for each table group. I have 14 kids in my class, which is a very small class, which I'm not complaining about. But I also, I want them to kind of share supplies. I have to look into that with COVID, though. I'm not sure if we're allowed to. So I do have all my supplies and stuff that I'm going to get all situated. I have classroom jobs. I need to put my students' names on the board so we can, I don't know if I'm just going to assign them jobs and it's going to change every week, or if I'm going to have them apply for a job, kind of, but they're in kindergarten, so it would have to be something super simple. So it might just be oh, well, we have the job of door holder. Who wants to do it? Raise your hand. That's all I mean by apply, not actually apply. And then I have to put their names on popsicle sticks and get everything figured out, but my name badge, yeah, so it came quicker than I thought it would. I had a bunch of stuff in here. It is now in my classroom, which is all set up and so pretty. I am listening to The Nesting by C.J. Cook for this reading vlog to read it like Gabby, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm over 50% now. And it's still very ominous and very creepy and very slow burn, but in this case it really works. I wonder, I'm starting to question when it's all going to come together and when I'm finally going to get all the answers that I'm hoping for. Live reading sprints on the channel! Ooh. And I have 2 people on there, so I'm pretty happy about that, actually. I'm going to listen to my audiobook a little bit and color. I have to color because I'm a teacher. It's for an assignment for my class, but I'm really excited. If you have ever gone live on YouTube and you know how to put the clock, like the countdown timer, on the live so that other people can see it? Could you please let me know in the comments below, because I'm having so much trouble with that. I do have a timer going and it will go off in 20 minutes, so I'm going to unmute myself here in a minute, and when it goes off everyone will hear it, but yay! Okay, so my live show is over and I gained a new subscriber through it. So I'm so like honored that you guys want to hang out with me and everything. Did you just laugh at me?
That was him. He yawned.
That was you.
No, that was seriously the dog. What was that?
I said I'm honored you want to hang out with me and you do that?
Jelly bean. That was seriously the dog.
I honestly don't know if that was my husband or the dog.
That was the dog! Go outside. Come on.
But apparently they don't want to hang out with me. But you do, so it's okay. I have like 20 minutes left of my audiobook, so I'm going to get ready for bed. It's only like 8 o'clock. But I'm going to bed already. Yeah, I'm just gonna get ready for bed. I have to go to work tomorrow as a kindergarten teacher. People are gonna put their kids in my hands.
What are they thinking?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so it's like an hour later, and I am about to just go to sleep. But I did finish The Nesting by C.J. Cook, and I can understand why Gabby would recommend it and why she likes it. I loved the first half of this book. I was intrigued. I wanted to know the mystery, and my heart was scared. And I do have to say that I really enjoyed the mental health representation. There's a lot of talk of suicide and suicide attempts and getting help when you need it, if you need it. And I loved the commentary about that. I do think that that was done in a really, really great way. However, I did not like ultimately what the mystery was. It felt... It just felt bad to me. I don't know. The thing is that I like more contemporary horror, and I think that's where me and Gabby differ, because she doesn't like as much like slasher and contemporary horror. She likes more of like this, which is great for her. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it, especially the first half. I don't like where it went, but I would say that I had a lot of fun with this book. So, 4 stars. Can we trust Gabby? I would say yeah. I didn't love it as much as her, and I would certainly say that if you liked this, then you would like The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I loved The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, but I think it is the superior of the two. I already have my next book picked out, so tomorrow I'm going to start The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward, which is another horror book that Gabby loves, and I really don't know a lot about it. I think it's a haunted house in a haunted forest. Good morning, vlog. Wish me good luck on my first day of work. Actually, by the time you see this, this day will already be over. But I started The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward last night. I made it about 50 pages in. Let's see. There you go. So I'm just barely started. This book is weird. On top of weird. On top of weird. I have no idea what is going on. Legitimately, like, I'm so confused right now. You follow the perspective of Ted, who kind of writes like he's a child. Olivia, who is a cat. And I just had my first chapter of D, and I'm not sure who she is or how she's connected to this story. And honestly, ew. There are some really gross things that happen, and then there was this scene with rattlesnakes, and nothing even really happened with them, but there were just a lot of them, and I don't like snakes. I used to have this reoccurring nightmare as a child, where I would be, in my dream, I was laying in my bed, and surrounding me on my floor were snakes, like hundreds of snakes, who were just trying to get me to get off the bed. And yeah, no, that terrified me. Like, in my dream, I would be on the bed crying because I didn't know what to do about the snakes. And I'm legitimately afraid of snakes. So that scene was, like, not needed, but I get it because it's a scary book. But I have no idea what's going on in this book. Okay, so it's the end of the day. And today was technically my first day as a kindergarten teacher, but I ended up just co-teaching, which is cool. That's what I thought I was going to do, and then we had this whole, like, miscommunication where I thought we were going to co-teach. She thought we were just going to, you know, split her class in half. And then we ended up co-teaching today, and now, long story short, I'm going to take over my class tomorrow. Half of her class will be coming into mine. But I have also been listening to The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward, and I'm not DNFing it yet. It's really weird, and it's not scary so far. I'm like 70 pages in, and I'm just really not vibing with it. I don't want to DNF it because I am really enjoying the secret project that I'm doing for Read It Like Gabby. But I'm really just not vibing well with it. So instead, I'm gonna put this down for a little bit. Maybe come back to it. Maybe I'll DNF it. We'll find out later. But I'm going to start The Winter People by Jennifer Mcmahon. I have this one on audiobook as well, and I really want to plan out some stuff for my classroom. Honestly, this week is just going to be a lot of rules and procedures and learning what I want in my class, learning what my kids want, learning everything. And I'm super excited for it, but also low-key nervous. So I need to get my dog some water, and then I'm going to start this book. So good morning. It is currently Wednesday morning, and I'm about to go try to go to this key place and get a key for my school and my classroom, because I still don't have one yet. Yay! So I have to go deal with that and then go to school. So it's not even 6 a.m. yet. This key place is already open. I technically don't have to be at work until 8:20, but if I get my key and everything, then I'll probably go to school early to set up some stuff and look over my lesson plan. Currently, I'm using the other kinder teacher's lesson plans because we're supposed to be teaching the same thing anyway, so I'm just going to look over it, see what I have to teach today, and eventually I do want to start making my own lesson plans. It's just a lot to take on all at once. I thought we were going to be co-teaching and everything, but we're not, so it's scary. I don't know if I told you that I started The Winter People by Jennifer Mcmahon, and well, I started it. I'm about halfway through. I'm really hating this book. It's so slow, it's so boring, and I just really don't like it. I want to try and push through and finish this one. But like literally nothing is happening, and I just don't understand how it's scary, and I really just don't care. I think at the end I'm going to try and come back to this one. I didn't make it very far though. Like I made it like 100-ish pages, and I'm still not really loving it. I have tried to listen to some of it on audio, and it's just, they're both really, really slow, and I really wanted to love them because Gabby from Gabby Reads recommends them, but so far I'm really just having a hard time with them. Good morning, world. It is currently Thursday morning, 6:30 in the morning to be exact. We are almost ready to walk out the door for work. I've never liked a job so much, even on my bad days. Like, the bad days really do get me. I really wanted to cry on Tuesday because it just felt like I was so overwhelmed and like nothing really went right on Tuesday. Yesterday, I don't think I vlogged at all, but yesterday was Wednesday, and everything went so nicely. I was so proud of myself and proud of my kids, and it was a lot of fun yesterday. We did a lot of rules and procedures, and you would think that that would be boring. Actually, like, I used to hate rules and procedure days, but I think I like going over them with my class, since I'm the teacher now. I really do appreciate that. But this morning, as I was getting ready for school, I finished The Winter People by Jennifer Mcmahon. I struggled with this book. I struggled to finish it. And I think one of the prompts is to read a book in the dark. I didn't technically read all of this in the dark, but the first night I read like 50 pages, and last night I read like 20 pages in the dark. So I'm going to say that prompt is done. It's also a winter setting. It has snow on the cover. And then I have 3 more potential books. I'm going to read The House at the Bottom of the Lake later, probably this weekend, when I don't have school or anything, when I can just like sit down and knock it out, because it's very, very short. So I know I can do that over the weekend. Oh, Jelly Bean's here. Say hi. But I finished The Winter People. Like I was saying, I was struggling really hard to finish this book. I picked this one from Gabby's recommendation because she did If You Like This, Try This. And she said if you like Pet Sematary to try Winter People. I did not understand that until the 60 or 70% mark, and I feel like that's kind of a spoiler. But you have 2 or 3 different storylines, and they all seem unrelated, and then once you figure out how they're related, it's actually very beautiful. It was very chilling and amped up at the end, and I really, really loved the ending. But the rest of the book was pure trash. I almost, DNF'd it so many times. It's so slow, it's so boring, and that's just not my type of book. However, I did really, really love the ending. So I'm probably going to give it a 2 or 2.5 stars. I do have to say that I understand the recommendation, though. And if you liked Pet Sematary by Stephen King, which is the only Stephen King novel that I have read and liked, most of his books are not for me. I just don't end up liking them. But there's something magical about Pet Sematary. It's haunting and chilling. And I would say this is the same at the end. Towards the end. But I had to suffer through so much slow, boring nothingness to get that reward that I didn't absolutely love it. But is it a good recommendation if you like Pet Sematary? Yes, definitely. I just don't think the payout was there for me. It was haunting and beautiful and chilling at the end. I wanted more of that throughout the book, or from the start, or at least from the middle. 'Cause I almost gave up on this book. So it was okay for me. I do understand the recommendation, and it makes sense. So I still have the audiobook for Nesting. No, not Nesting. I finished Nesting. I love Nesting. For The Last House on Needless Street, I might try and listen to some more of that, because I just couldn't. I read it with my eyes for the first 60 pages, and then I got the audiobook, and neither of them were working for me. I don't like those books where I'm confused and where I don't know what's going on, and there's the point of view of a cat, and it sounds like a little boy, but I'm pretty sure he was an adult, and I just don't know what's going on. And okay, so I haven't vlogged in a while, but I officially DNF'd The Last House on Needless Street. Just not working with me. I've learned that Gabby and I have very differing taste on horror. She likes a lot of supernatural and monstrous type horror and kind of weird horror, where I like more contemporary horror and real life things that could happen. I have started Anxious People by Frederick Bachmann, and that is based on her recommendation as well. It's not horror, but I'm loving every second of it. It's got really good commentary on mental health, and it's about a bank robbery that doesn't happen and a hostage situation, and it's really, really pulling me in. So I'm gonna go read some of that on audio while I do some teacher stuff, because I still need to finish getting my classroom the rest of the way set up. I'm working on sight words right now, so I can do a sight word wall in my class, and get our procedures all the way done for next week. And yeah, we're doing good, really good. Hey friends, so it's a little bit later, and I finished Anxious People by Frederick Bachmann. I do not want to kiss Jelly Bean. don't know what he's trying to do. I loved this book so much. So, this is really hard to explain what it is, but it's about a bank robbery that doesn't happen and a hostage situation, which isn't exactly what you think it is. And it touches on mental health and suicidal thoughts and suicidal actions. And it was emotional and so freaking good. The only thing, like a minor detail, is that I felt like it was very, very repetitive. And, like, it didn't make my enjoyment for this book any less, but I can see how someone might think that. Generally speaking, I absolutely loved this book. I was going to read 5 horror novels for this Read It Like Gabby for Summerween. Tomorrow is Monday, so it's basically the end of Summerween tomorrow. I am going to call it done for this reading vlog of Reading It Like Gabby, and hopefully this will be up next week. I have realized that Gabby and I have very different taste in horror novels, and that's okay. We don't have to like the same thing of everything. I do really love her recommendation, Anxious People. I seem to like our thrillers are kind of opposite. I don't know. We either have the exact same taste in thrillers or the exact opposite, depending on the thriller. Like, I think she preferred Anonymous Girl by Gira Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, whereas I preferred The Wife Between Us, but she hated that one. And, you know, it's okay. This was a fun experiment, even though I didn't really find very many books that I liked. So I'm going to quickly go through the books that I did read. Okay, so technically I DNF'd 2 books for this vlog. I DNF'd The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward. I think I know what's going to happen. But I don't know. I just could not get through the perspectives of the cat, the cat and the daughter. It's just not for me. I didn't like it. It actually kind of sickened me, some of the things that were in here, and I think that might have been the point. Like, it is a horror novel, so I'm sure there are people out there that love this book, but I'm just not one of them. I couldn't finish it. And I don't think I told you, but I had started I don't think I told you, but I had started The One by John Mars, which is a sci-fi thriller that Gabby really likes. I ended up DNFing that one pretty early. Like, I got halfway through this one, but I just couldn't do it. But for the one, I got like 50 pages. I'm not even gonna lie. And I do like that you get the perspective of a serial killer. It's like this future where you can get your DNA tested and you can be matched with the one. And on premise, that sounds really, really good, but it was boring, and I just don't think that I like John Mars's writing. I have read The Passengers by John Mars, and that is another one that Gabby really likes, but I finished it and hated it. And this video sounds so negative, but it really isn't negative. I just have learned that Gabby and I do not like the same kind of horror novels, and that's okay. So then I also read The Winter People by Jennifer Mcmahon. I am conflicted about this one because I really, really, really hated the first, 70% of this book. I really wanted to DNF it, but I didn't want to DNF anything for this vlog. Little did I know that I would be DNFing 2 books after this. But then, at the end, the last, 20% was so good. And it almost made me want to forget that I was ever bored with this book. But I just can't. I do see why Gabby would say that if you like Pet Sematary, then you'll like The Winter People. It makes a lot of sense to me, but you have to get through so much boredom to get to that place in the book that it's almost not even worth it. I definitely think that Pet Sematary is the better of the 2, but if you like Winter People, try Pet Sematary if you haven't already read it. This was only okay for me. I think it's gonna be a 2.5 or a 3 star, right in there. And then I read The Nesting by C.J. Cook. I really, really, really enjoyed the atmosphere in this book, the mystery. The thriller was kind of predictable, and I read this because Gabby said if you like The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, which I loved, it was a 5-star read for me, then try The Nesting by C.J. Cook. I believe she thinks that this one is the better of the 2. I can see where the recommendation came from, and I appreciate this book. But I think The Turn of the Key is the better of the 2. I gave The Turn of the Key 5 stars, and this one is only a 4-star read for me. It was a fun time, though, and I did enjoy the atmosphere, and I just didn't like the direction that it went compared to The Turn of the Key. Maybe it's my fault for comparing them, but there's, technically 2 DNFs plus this one, which was middle of the road for me. And then 2 books that I really enjoyed. I would read one more that way that I actually finish, not just DNF. But I'm gonna put myself in a slump if I keep reading these types of books. I think that Gabby and I have a lot of differing tastes, and that is fine. I do really want to read more books that she recommends, like Anxious People. Or if you've read Anxious People and you have any recommendations for me, leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you in the next video. It is time for bed.